Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Star Citizen. So once again, here we are in Port Olisar in patch 3.2, and today we'll be having a look at the Avenger Titan, Aegis Dynamics Avenger Titan, the reworked version. So let's get into it. So immediately what I can see is that the Avenger is a lot taller now. It stands a lot taller. It is way taller than what it was before. It's a lot higher as it sits on the ground. Now the Avenger was reworked because it was needed for Squadron 42. It has a role to play within the single player campaign of Star Citizen known as Squadron 42. And also immediately what caught my attention was the material that makes up the outer skin of the Avenger. You've got this sort of tile kind of ceramic plates on the outside. Sort of looks like scales, you know, scales on fish. But I'm guessing it's some sort of heat-resistant tile material, something like that. But it does look scaly. Now the material itself on the outside is of higher quality. Obviously the textures are higher quality and whatnot. Now immediately in terms of changes from the outside, we can see that the T-21 Tiger Strike size 3 Gatling gun is being removed temporarily. The devs said that the T-21 Tiger Strike has been removed temporarily and it will be back after it also undergoes some rework. So don't worry about that. If you're a fan of the T-21 Tiger Strike, the Gatling gun that was on the nose, it will be back. But however, at the moment we have a replacement for it, and the replacement is the GT Mantis, Gatling gun Mantis size 3. So it's pretty much the same thing. The GT Mantis actually has a higher rate of fire than the T-21 Tiger Strike. However, the ship gets an upgrade here on the wing guns. Before it used to carry two size 1s, two size 1 gimbaled weapons. Now it has two size 2s. I believe these are Badger repeaters, Badger repeater laser firing, energy firing guns. The missiles are the same thing. I'm not sure. It looks like the missiles are exactly the same thing, but it's got an upgraded size in terms of size for the two wing guns. So now you have two size 2 gimbaled weapons on the wings instead of two size 1 gimbals. And I'm guessing you can remove these two wing guns, size 2 wing guns, and fit two fixed size 3 guns, which will be very good for the Avenger. So then you'll have three size 3 guns on the Avenger. Now we can immediately also see that the size has changed as well. Like it's been stretched from nose to tail, not so much from wingtip to wingtip. It's been sort of like stretched in terms of lengthwise from back to front. And also I can see those engine air intakes or engine intakes are a lot more prominent as well. So let's go ahead and get inside. Let's get inside the Avenger. Wow, I like it. Looks very good. Let's go ahead and close the ramp. Wow guys, it is a lot roomier, but in terms of cargo space they said that the amount of cargo that it can carry hasn't changed. It's still the same. So obviously this is the Titan version of the Avenger. You have the Warlock as well as the Stalker. Now I absolutely love this art style, this late 80s kind of sci-fi art style that they've incorporated into the Avenger. Looks so good, so retro, so old school, 80s sci-fi movie kind of look. So we've got a bunch of panels here. We've got a screen that we can't use at the moment. Yeah, but I'm absolutely loving this this interior kind of late 80s, early 90s sci-fi movie art style. Now we're going into the habitational area, and immediately right off the bat we can see that it's a lot bigger. Before we were we had to crouch, basically crouch down in here. Now we can stand. You can clearly stand, and it's a lot wider as well, not as narrow. The bed is bigger. Definitely you have a lot more room on the bed. There we go, as you can see. Lying down on the bed. And let's get out. There we go. Yeah, this place is a lot roomier. Again, I'm loving the late 80s kind of sci-fi movie art scheme. Now I'm just imagining, like, later on when the game is actually finished, it's out, and you're in your Avenger going to do a mission, and then you're done. You know, you're in the middle of space. You come in here, you go to the bed, you save and you log out, and you come back in a few days later in the Avenger out in space. So cool, such a cool feeling. Like the ships that have beds, in my opinion, will be a lot more appealing later on when the game is actually finished. It is a big facility. Having a bed inside a ship will be a huge facility. Yeah, this art style is amazing. Okay, so let's go into the cockpit. Again, we can see the cockpit and the entry to the cockpit a lot taller, a lot wider. You no longer have to crouch. Here we are. We're in the cockpit now, and we're standing, fully standing inside the cockpit. And the doors lock or close. I assume like later on we can lock the doors to the cockpit. So let's get in the pilot seat. There we go. And here's the new dash, new cockpit layout. Sort of similar, like in terms of the MFDs, the layout of the MFDs and the control stick and everything, but it's definitely had a facelift. Like, it looks a lot better. Again, I can see the late 80s kind of sci-fi influence of the cockpit as well, which I love. It's fantastic. Look at all these buttons, these old type of buttons where you had to press in. We can see some wear and tear on the front dash. Yeah, it looks amazing. Now, in terms of visibility, cockpit visibility, it's still the same. Like, I was worried that we might lose some cockpit visibility because, you know, as the ship gets bigger, you know, the cockpit will get bigger as well. But in terms of visibility, it's exactly the same as before. So let's go ahead and turn it on.
Aegis combat assist activated. Systems green.
Takeoff. Landing gear retracted. Let's have a look from the outside. Wow. Avenger still looks very, very good. In my opinion, the Avenger was one of the cutest ships in the game. Now again, as I was saying before, the quality of the material on the outside of the ship seems to have improved a lot. It's of a higher quality now. As well as those engine intakes are a lot more prominent as well. So let's go ahead and take her out for a spin. Now I could feel that the ship is a little bit sluggish in terms of acceleration. Now that would make sense because obviously the weight of the ship has most likely gone up, as well as the size. And when you increase weight and you keep the same amount of power, same kind of amount of thrust, you're going to lose some acceleration. So let me try it out again. So we're at 0. Now I'm going to go all the way to full speed on SCM without boosters, without afterburner. So 1, 2, 3, let's go. Top speed 260 meters per second on SCM. As I said, the acceleration feels a little bit sluggish. I'm not sure if it's just me, or if that's the real, like if it's being nerfed, like the acceleration has been reduced. As I said, like this is something to expect. When you increase weight, you're going to lose some acceleration if you don't increase power output as well. So let's go ahead and get afterburner. You can still hear the engines crackling and popping in the background as well, which is fantastic. It really adds to the immersion. Now once you hit about 700 meters per second, I can see that the acceleration kind of drops as well, sort of like levels off. It's struggling to get past 800. You can see it's struggling. Now I'm not sure if it's just me or if it was faster before. Again, if it is slower, it makes sense. You get a bigger ship, it'll be a bit slower. So you can see it's struggling to get to 1,100. There we go, 1,115 meters per second. Let's go ahead and stop. Now let's try the roll rate. Still the same, but a little bit slower. Now to the right. Yeah, same kind of roll, but a little bit, maybe a tiny bit slower. Again, it will make sense to. I fully expected the agility of the Avenger to be a tiny bit nerfed. In terms of yaw, it's probably similar. Same as before. Now let's have a look at the gun. The Gatling gun. The GT Mantis Gatling gun always had a higher rate of fire than the T-21 Tiger Strike, so nothing new here. Now the wing guns, the Badger repeaters. Wow. Quite a high rate of fire. That's really good. And as I said, like you can replace those size 2 gimbaled weapons with a fixed size 3s as well. But in my opinion, the Avenger needed a weapons upgrade, to be honest. Those 2 size 1s were a bit weak. These 2 size 2s should be a lot better. Now let's have a look from the outside. Now they've kept the blue engine flames as well, which was my favorite thing about the Avenger. The blue afterburner flames. Seems like the engine exhaust nozzles are a little bit bigger. The whole case around the engine nozzle seems a little bit bigger. But overall, you can see the ship is a lot lengthier in terms of from nose to back. It's a longer ship now. In terms of width, maybe slightly wider, but it's definitely taller and longer. Yeah, those weapons look really, really cool. Size 2s instead of size 1s, yeah, definitely. Overall, actually, I'm very happy with the rework of the Avenger. The weapons upgrade, the upgrade to the interior, the sort of late 80s sci-fi movie kind of art style, absolutely fantastic. Looks like we have a troublemaker here at Port Olisar. Oh, he's in a Avenger Warlock. Well, he's lucky. He's in the armistice zone. Let's go ahead and try and land.
Landing gear deployed.
Let's ask for landing clearance.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Okay.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Okay. So landing is done. Power off. And let's get out through the cockpit. Okay guys, so we have to bring the video to an end here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.